So you log into your creator studio and you
In this video, I'm going to show you Good morning, everyone. Welcome, race fans. This is the Japanese Grand Prix. You are listening to the Racing 60 YouTube channel. This is Crash, and I'm going to explain what's going on. Ryan has the weekend off, basically. It's just a function of this race is just a really bad time. This is a really bad time for Ryan, and ultimately I'm stepping in for him this weekend. So, moving on, going forward. The story right now is ultimately Logan Sargent. So he crashed in Q1, and basically both the front rear tire and the left rear tire, the front wing, back wing, the car was basically rebuilt, and that was going to precipitate a pit lane entrance. The problem is that Williams started working on rebuilding car too soon. That's how it's being expressed. And that now has given Sargent a 10-second penalty, which will be served on his first pit stop. So yeah, pretty much this is not going to be a race for Logan in any shape or form way things are going. But yeah, going forward, we'll see what happens. See how he does if he performs in anything. At the front of the grid, Max Verstappen did take pole. Basically Singapore was a fluke. Basically, it was just a fluke. It was the track. It's a street circuit. Red setup. It was a setup issue because it's a street circuit. We're now back at a more dedicated circuit, and Max just has been back to dominating. What's interesting is Oscar Piastri took the second place on that front row, and he is basically the first rookie. So he's still a rookie. So this is the big thing, is that he's the first rookie to be on the front row since Stroll did, I think, 2016. Norris is P3, Leclerc is P4, Perez is P5, and Sainz is P6. Mercedes are going to start on that fourth row. So yeah, and then hometown favorite Yuki Tsunoda is in that fifth row. So that's where things are going right now. Ultimately, we have no clue what's going to happen. There could be anything could happen. This is why we watch. I want to thank everyone who's showed up right now. We got 2,500 again for basically middle of the night in the United States, early morning in UK. That's actually a really good show out. Got 300 likes. Thanks for those. If you don't like, subscribe right now. Why not? There's over 103,000 subscribers to our channel. Come join the family. Come get notifications when we go live. Again, this is the race. We go live for the race. We go live for qualifications. We go live for the sprint race and sprint qualifications and all of the practices. And I'm usually the practice guy. So if you're just usually here to see Ryan and usually listen to Ryan, again, he's off this weekend. I'm usually the person who does the practice is on this channel. So I'm filling in for him today. For those of you who've not met before, again, I'm Grash. Good to meet you. Jerry Lou says Logan Sargent crashed yesterday. Yeah. Basically, what happened is Logan crashed on the last curve, the last turn of the track, and just before that, Logan basically bounced over the curbs, basically lost control of the car. Took him too long to get basically somewhat control, and then ended up into the wall, and he went sideways into the wall. That's why, again, the front and left side, front and rear side on the left side wheels collapsed. Both front and left wings collapsed. So yeah, don't know what to say. Yay, American. He's also a Florida man, so you can go with that if you want. We are a Watchalong, so we're not going to basically support you for your to watch F1 TV somewhere else. I mean, ultimately, go watch F1 TV Pro, go ESPN if you're in the United States, Sky Sports in the UK, your local provider everywhere else. Rudolph saying Americans could do circles best. Haha. But you know what, man? You mock the ovals, but like you talk about Monza being the temple of speed. Hell no, man. Like Indianapolis is the temple of speed. Like straight up, like the ovals, it's all about straight line speed and those curves, and it's about the speed. Like yeah, straight up. And there's a whole different way of tactic and uh, methodology you take to a oval circuit. And so don't knock it, man. They have their place. Don't get me wrong. They have their place. It's just F1 never does ovals. Indianapolis 500 is what? Yeah, at one point, Indianapolis 500 um, was a point earning race in F1. It's not considered a Grand Prix in F1. That's one of those weird things. If you go back before the streak ended, just before, one of the things that was like Vettel's record was contested by another driver who only claimed basically if you only claimed Grand Prix, leaving out the Indianapolis 500, he had the same amount of streak wins. F1 also went to F1 also was independent on what we call the road course. So there's the oval course and there's also a road course at Indianapolis Grand Prix. So yeah, what time is it by your locations? Right now, I'm coming you live from North Texas. So I'm in the Central Time Zone. And it is 4 minutes to midnight. East Coast is 1 a.m. and Pacific it is 10 p. Will be 10 p.m. at race start. Somebody is asking when will Ricciardo return? Most likely he is returning next race at Qatar. If he needs more time, then the next race is the American Grand Prix. He will definitely be back by the American Grand Prix, but it's very looking like he will be back by Qatar. If you guys got questions, chat, just drop it in. I'm seeing a lot of you. I see a McLaren fan out there. Seeing excuse me, where's North Texas? Basically, I'm in the South Central of the United States. If you know where Dallas is, if you know where Houston is, you know where Austin is. Austin is basically where the American Grand Prix is going to take place in. So I'm about a few hours north of Austin. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, if you want to be specific. Any tips when I know when the Grand Prix start in F1? Yeah, great question. For not just for the Grand Prix, but for quali and all of the other sessions, actually go to the F1 website, because if you scroll down, there's a section for start times for every session, and it will, when you get down there, it will scroll automatically to the correct race for the next race that's coming up. So if you have any, you can convert between your local time back to track time if you want to look at track time, but it will show automatically. It will by default will show you first in your local time, and I love that feature. Makes it easy to realize where I'm supposed to be and when I'm supposed to be. Yeah, Dave is pointing out North America. So North America is including Canada. Actually, it's 5 races. So we've got 3 in the United States, 1 in Canada, and 1 in Mexico. And those are the three countries that are primarily take up North America. We've got a lot of islands, but basically south of Mexico, you're getting into essentially South America. Again, someone's bringing up in chat that, so what happened is basically Logan has a 10-second penalty. And the reason he has a 10-second penalty is because the team started working on the car before they should have. And I'm not sure in what regards that was going to be in that regards, like how that. Yeah, I don't fully understand it myself. There are rules on when you can do things. I mean, as it is already, changing up the car, refixing it was going to break park for me already. It was going to be a pit lane start. This is now adding another 10-second penalty that will be taken on his first pit stop. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on when this race gets going. Kevin DeMaro is from Connecticut, USA, 1 a.m. Hello, my friend from New England. That is the neck of the woods I'm from. And have we started the formation lap? Yes, we have. Oh, there we go. So the formation lap has started. So again, what we talk about, like basically they lined up on the grid to do the publicity and last minute checks on the car on the grid. They're now going around the grid. This is what we call the formation lap. They will line back up on the grid for the start. And as we do this, as the last car leaves, you can see everyone. There's like a group of techs that go to one side. They rush across the track, which is basically how that goes. Why is Lawson named in capital letters? Because he's technically the replacement driver for Ricciardo, and so he's not the actual contracted driver on the grid. It's a technicality. I mean, honestly, he probably should have. It's how whoever manages the chart is doing it. So this is interesting. We have Tsunoda, Alonso, Lawson, Bottas, Stroll, Hulkenberg, and Zhou on soft tires, and everyone else on mediums. I was not predicting to see softs at all at this race because we've been hearing about tire degradation and how potentially the softs are going to be basically burning up. So I don't know. They're taking risks. I mean, Tsunoda can charge past. He's got the ability to charge past those Mercedes if he's on those soft tires. Once give him a lap to get those warmed up. Yeah, tire management is going to be huge. I mean, we're talking 2 stops. Has been a lot of what we've been talking about. Potentially a 3rd stop, likely even Estelle. Again, that's just not talking about yellow flag scenarios or giving me a red flag. There is a G's counter on screen, and what is that? Well, essentially, I have a bad habit. Well, it just so happens that there are a lot of red flags when I stream, and we're keeping a count of the stream of how many times we get a red flag. So there was a red flag in quali. That again, Logan Sargent. So he's my 1 on my counter right now. You can see I had a streak of 6 sessions. Now remember, I do practice and not necessarily quality of the race. So if anything goes wrong in practice, it ends up being a red flag anyways. But then I had a strange streak of no red flags at all. I blame that on the fact I streamed the last IndyCar race, and that was a massive disaster. It was a sloppy race, very sloppy race. It was a lot of yellow flags, whatnot at that race. Where's Ryan? Ryan's off this weekend. This is Grash. I am here to basically what happened to Ryan. Ryan's not here this weekend. This is Grash you're listening to right now. I'm just in for this weekend. He will be back in Qatar. Ooh, Fernando herky jerky with his car getting into his pit spot. So we're lining up right now. We got the last car about to get into grid. And it looks like Hulkenberg getting into line. And we look good. Sargent's coming to the pit lane entrance. 4 lights, 5 lights. And here we go. Off we go. Max is coming out to block. Looks like Oscar. Lando get around. Oh, do we have an incident back there? Max is getting ahead. Yeah, so Max manages to keep ahead of Oscar and Lando. And we're falling into line. There is a 2-car wide at turn 3. There is a sector 1 yellow flag. I saw something happen. Nope, green flag. It was just someone off the track. That's went green flag right away. So it looks like Bottas had a problem. He's probably the one who went off track. Some bunching up in the midfield. Alonso backing some people up, backing up a Haas. We've got, it looks like, I think it's Tsunoda passing, or is it, looks like Lawson was passing someone. So right now we've got Lawson 10, Tsunoda 11th. Zoe says he's got damage. And we have a safety car out. Okay. So there is, all right, so I did see something. There was an incident. It didn't, cars touched each other at the beginning of the start. So the back of the field, cars touched each other. Bottas has part of his wing, his right winglet on his wing has gone. So there's been, so basically they've got a safety car out so they can clean up the track of debris that happened before the first turn from the back of the field. Oh, okay. So Albon and Hulkenberg. I'm not showing the issue again, but ultimately we've got debris on the track. First good joke of the night. Yeah, so they're showing Max. Basically, he managed to defend off both Oscar and Lando. At one point, he was a papaya sandwich. Trying to get back. We're getting a shot from Carlos. I'm trying to get more information for you, but there was a collision in the back of the field. And that collision, oh wow, Hamilton got bumped around. He says he's been hit by Perez and then pushed off slightly by Perez again. I think that allows Alonso to get ahead of Perez on the grid. There we go. Albon crashed into, I think, Bottas. Is one of the Alfa Romeos. Here's Hulkenberg's view of things. They're showing off. Oh, Albon car goes up off on 2 wheels. Yeah, Hulkenberg had a great view of what went wrong. So we got Zoe. Okay, so it was Bottas who pushed Albon up on two wheels. So the piece of Bottas' car went over, I think, Hulkenberg and went and landed underneath Zhou's wing. Who's in the dirt over there? Hi everyone, this is Grash. I'm in for Ryan this weekend, and I'm right now trying to go looking at the different views from basically the beginning of the first lap, basically. And Perez is in the pit lane for a nose change. So Perez is going to drop back. Sargent is in the pits again. And there's still debris on track at the pit lane exit. And Perez is going to join ahead of Albon on the track. So Ocon, Zhou, Perez, Albon, Sargent, Bottas, again, the back of the field all have done a pit stop at this. So the engineer to Lewis is saying that there's a small bit of damage on, I think, the dive plate is what he said. So start analysis, Norris had 0.03 sec. It was 0.303 faster than Verstappen on the start. And that's why we had a papaya sandwich for about a turn. So right now the running order is Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, Sainz, Alonso, Hamilton, Russell, Lawson, Tsunoda, Stroll. We're still in a yellow flag because there is debris on the car. Oh, and with Bottas's, but they had a very slow stop. They weren't ready for the wing, so he had over 33 seconds, 33.9 seconds stop. Why did Perez box? He had wing damage. He was forced wide and he was forced into Hamilton, it looks like. We're coming around. Showing the track. We still have a yellow car, but basically, again, Perez had a stop to get a basically a wing change. Alonso took advantage of basically several other. So there's a race control is noting a safety car infringement for Perez. There was a lot of bouncing around in the mid and backfield at the start of the race. I mean, literally from the start of the race, people were bouncing off each other and hitting each other. So safety car is ending. Safety car is coming in right now. We're on lap 4 of 53. Albon has floor damage. Yeah, no, shit. Albon has Albon went up on two wheels. Did Lawson overtake Tsunoda? Yes, he did. Lawson did pass Tsunoda. Five laps of safety car. Someone's saying it's ridiculous. You know what, man? There was so much debris on track. Had they continued with there was just so much debris on track. Ultimately, it just took them a while to clean it all up. And did I do now the F1 gods? First lap, man. What do I say? I bring the chaos. I bring the chaos when I'm streaming sessions. And Max is slow through that third sector because he's going to try and make a big jump on McLaren. Here we go. Yep, Max has just made that jump before the beginning for the line. So we're back to lap 5. We're back to green flag running right now. So let's hope. So unlike the start, they were lined up single file. So we should get a good start, and it has been a good start so far. Again, Alonso started 10th. He's now 6th in the race. He's managed to get past basically Tsunoda, Russell, Hamilton. Yeah, Perez did have to stop. He's lost position. He's also switched to hard tires. No, Hamilton is just Perez was pushed into Hamilton. It looks like. Right now, we've got a battle for 5th with Sainz and Alonso. Which Alfa Romeo is this? Yellow flag. It's Bottas. Where is it? Where is he? Okay, so Bottas has gone off the track and he's come back on. I don't even think we had a yellow flag. Demopinto, thank you so much for gifting memberships. Questes, welcome to the family. You were gifted a membership from Denver. How many laps does the circuit have? 53. We're on lap 6 right now. And Hamilton is he's just going past Russell. So Hamilton is into 7th right now. Sargent is in the pits. Why is he in the pits? Are they retiring him? You got a replay right now. Oh. So Hamilton just did a cheeky hit on Russell as he went by him. Is Sargent done? Are they retiring him? Oh, okay. So Bottas went off. Albon basically hit Bottas. That's why he went off. So revenge. So okay, Albon locked up, or was it Sargent that locked up? One of the Williams locked up and hit Bottas. So right now, top of the front of the race, Max has set the fastest lap with a 1:36.7. He's right now leading on a medium. Norris is about 2 seconds back from him, and Piastri 2 seconds back from that. The Ferraris are 4th and 5th with Leclerc ahead of Sainz and Alonso 6th, and that's our lead of the race right now. Yeah, guys, please be careful with your language. The bot is saying things and it's taking them out. And Bottas has gone back into the pits, it looked like. So Bottas and Sargent noted Sargent causing a collision in that case. Again, Sargent locked up and hit Bottas, and he basically spun around. And they're reviewing the car. So they did basically a check of the car for Bottas. He's now P20. We'll see what happens with Sargent. I mean, he already has a 10-second penalty because the team messed up on when they could repair the car. Perez just passed Zhou to move up to 16. He's currently on a hard tire right now. That was switched over when, and Ocon's also on a hard tire. So Bottas, Ocon, Magnussen, Ocon, Perez, Bottas are all on hard tires because they've already pitted once at this point. Yeah, Bottas was in the pits. He's now out of the pits. Basically, he came in, and the techs basically did a visual check of the car. Given what happened with Sargent, that was probably needed. I'm not sure DFS should be activated at this point. If it's not this lap, it'll be definitely the next lap. Oh, well, yeah, Bottas has been lapped, so that's interesting. Given what's happened with him, that's not to be, that's not to be expected. Sargent will probably be lapped next. So we're getting to the issue where these back marker cars are now becoming moving chicanes, and that's something that we did not expect in the beginning of this race. If you had lap car under 10 laps, you have won your bet at Vegas, my friend. No, Bottas is not retiring. He's back on track. Copeland says that hard tire runners might go to the end. Actually, that may not be the case. Given the tire degradation, the temperature, tire degradation this track normally has, the tires are being eaten up massively. Did you see something with Perez? One of the Alpines in front of him? Did Magnussen and Ocon just have a tussle? All right, Bottas is coming back into the pits. They may be retiring him this now. He was out. This could be... So Sargent is getting another penalty. And it's going to be another 5 seconds. So he's got total... I'm not sure if I'm not sure that Sargent served his 10-second penalty, but he has another 5-second penalty on top of that, and they are retiring Bottas' car. That's not his fault at all. Too many incidents around him that he was involved with. Just basically for his safety, why he's retiring right now. Does Piastri have a podium yet? No, he's not. The best Piastri's done is fourth so far this season. King Q, again, we got to remind everyone, this is Logan's second penalty. Perez is getting a penalty as well. It's a 5-second penalty for Perez. And Perez is getting the 5-second penalty for our safety car infringement. Yeah, it's basically how he let cars get ahead of him. Race control did not like, and they ultimately is going to get penalty. Do they lose points? No. Penalty is in terms of seconds. So if Perez, let's say Perez goes to the end of the Grand Prix, 5 seconds will be applied to his time in terms of the final race. Comes out. Yeah, it's a very weird. So what happens is Checo came out and passed several people out of the pits. Not a drive-through, but just 5 seconds. Yeah, what happened is Checo came out of the pits, charged out of the pits, and basically passed like 2 or 3 people who are in the yellow. Again, there's a yellow flag right now, and there was a line of cars procession going by. He passed several people. He gave the positions back right away, but the fact that he had passed them. So Ocon has just moved up. Lawson is coming into the pits. Zhou is coming into the pits. No, Perez not fired. It's just a bad day for Perez. So Zhou is just back, coming out of the pits. Lawson and Zhou had just gone to the pits. Who's worse, Sergeant Latifi? Latifi, man. I'll be honest with you. Latifi, like, this is Sargent's first year. Latifi had been here 3 years and he was crashing like mad. Like there's like an experience difference between the two. Yeah, Albin's getting a couple free places. Yeah, I know. Both Lawson and Zhou dropped back. Looking through Tsunoda's again P15 right now. Those are worrying about the hometown favorite. It's like Alonso is in boxing right now. Yeah. Okay. So these are all soft tire runners for the most part. So Alonso's pitting right now. We should expect to see Stroll to pit next lap as well. He's going to a hard tire. And Alonso does a good 2.9. So Albin gaining another place to P13. How many laps do we expect the meetings go? They typically go 15, 17, 18. Some can push it over 20. But we are going to see, again, the F1 saying 16 to 22. We'll probably see it on the earlier side, on the 16 side, rather than 22, because of tire degradation. A yellow flag. Two people are saying yellow flag. Oh, one of the Haas's turned around. Which Magazine has turned himself around. He's pointing the wrong way, and there's debris on track. So part of the car, someone's car. What happened? Perez is trying to pass. He comes in on the inside, and Perez hits the left rear tire of Hulkenberg. And Perez has more wing damage. Yeah, it's one of those. It's probably Checo's fault here. Checo came on the inside of the curve. And the Haas was just in the same line. Why is Diaz not available yet? Well, because we've had a yellow flag. We've had incidents that would cause it not to be enabled. It should be enabled, but we've had incidents. So here comes in Checo. We get another wing change, and then Magnussen coming in. Where's Checo? There he is. So Magnussen's doing a 2.8 stop. he'll come out ahead of Checo now. It's a slow stop. It's a 18-second stop, but it was like over 34 seconds. Race control will probably take a look at it. I don't know if they'll actually do, but it's very possible that Checo could, it's possible that a penalty, they've been penalty happy. Oscar coming in for new tires, and it's a virtual safety car on lap 14. Why is so Oscar's going to come out behind Piastri? Dusky's asking, have I amended blindfolds with Ray or something? I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Perez says the car doesn't feel right. Obviously, he's been bounced around. And this is Albon in the pit lane. He's going to softs. Yeah, huge win for Oscar, basically, because he stopped while the yellow came out. That gives a huge advantage to him. So it's like a 10-second loss on time on yellow. It'll be like 18 or so typically with the yellow flag. So beautiful timing for McLaren right now. Huge advantage for them. No, it worked out perfectly because Oscar and Albon stopped under the yellow flag. Everyone else is going to be, again, as I expected, Perez and Magnussen under investigation causing a collision. And they're going to retire Perez's car. This is a retire and shame moment for Perez because he'll probably get a penalty. It's likely he's going to get a penalty for his incident with Magnussen. Stroll did a 2.4 stop, but he's doing it under green, so it's going to take him longer to get back on track. Yeah, those basically, because Piastri and Albon did it on the yellow flag, it took them less time to get back. They lost less time on the field for that reason. I mean, Perez already has one penalty already. He's looking to probably get another penalty. These are going to get him. Looking at like 2 to 3 penalty points on his license as it is already. That's not a good sign. And the car is damaged. The car is just damaged, and he's pushed one of the. He basically did not give the room for one of the McLarens to pass by. So. This is a bad weekend for Checo. It's a bad weekend for Checo. He's in the pit. He's going to be out. Amazingly, Logan Sargent is still in the race. So there's a bonus for that. Perez didn't crash. He had incidents where he bumped into people. He had to change his wing twice already in the race. So it's not been a good day for him. Like mistakes, not mistakes, but incidents from the first lap, incidents elsewhere with Magnussen. So ultimately, no, we're not going to give you a stream site. Yeah, guys, we're not here to be your F1 tech support to how to watch. Ooh, uh, Hamilton just went off the track. Now Russell's right behind him. Honestly, Russell should pass him out of spite. Russell's stalking Hamilton after he's gone off the track. And Russell just gave Hamilton pushed him off track and gave him a bump. Basically gave him a return of what Hamilton had done earlier to Russell. So, yeah, Max is now being called into pit. So Max, box. Several worst teammates ever. I don't know. There's probably worse teammates, but they are interesting no less. Why did Aston pit early? Undercut basically. He was trying to do an undercut, and it has helped him. So Max in already. We've got Hamilton in a pit lane, going to hards. Max stayed on. I don't trust that display. Yeah, no, Max did go to going this. No, he went to another pair of mediums. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure the F1 banner can be not up to date. Usually, it updates when they pass the start finish line for some reason, and not. Russell's complaining about Hamilton, about who are we fighting with right now. Yeah, that's a debug at Mercedes is going to be interesting this week. Yeah, I'm sure Max is on mediums. I went back and looked, rolled back the stream just to make sure that I was seeing. So Norris is coming into the pits, and Leclerc is coming to the pits. Norris is getting hard tires. Leclerc is getting another set of mediums. So Lando is going to come out in front of Alonso, and Leclerc is going to come out behind Alonso. So right now, Sainz, Russell are leading the field, but they have not pitted yet. Verstappen's third. He's the virtual leader right now, and Oscar is second behind him. I'm not sure. Gasly and Ocon are fifth and sixth, but Gasly is not pitted. Ocon has. So right now, our race virtual lead right now is Verstappen, Piastri, Ocon, Norris, Alonso. Sainz is being told to pit. Russell, for race control is going to look at Russell pushing off Hamilton. That will be investigated. They'll probably pull someone and be like, "Oops, that's our fault. Please don't do anything more." Unless they see something outrageously. So here comes Sainz. He's come into the pit lane right now. Sainz was in first because he had not pitted yet. So right now Russell's in first because he is not pitted yet. Lewis did pit. Gasly's pitting right now, and Sainz did a 2.3. So he's coming out. He's going to be ahead of Hamilton when he comes. So he's come out P8. Gasly's coming out. It's in the pits. He's dropping right now. He's down to P14. So right now, the only one who's in the top 10 who have not pitted right now is basically Russell. And it's a matter of how long he's going to push those tires. Here comes Max. I think Max is passing him on track. So there we go. Max has just passed Russell. Russell's on older medium tires, and it's a clean, quick pass on his part. That gives Russell DRS behind Max. Though he's losing, Max is getting space. We've got Sainz. No, that was a clerk passing Alonso. So clerk into P5. Sorry, that's a clerk passing Arcon. Arcon's behind, and then Alonso's behind him. So we got a small DRS train of those three at the moment, with Sainz slowly catching up. He's about half a second out of DRS range. Yeah, no, Max is now out of. Yeah, I looked away. Max is now out of DRS range for Russell. I don't know. He just jumped back in. We'll see. Fastest lap is going to Norris right now with a 136.689. And yeah, no, Russell's clearly out of DS range now. So Max has got a whole almost 2 seconds. Almost, it's going to jump to 2 seconds in a moment if I get. Yeah, it's 1.9 now. He's going to be 2 seconds in a moment. So Max is pulling away from Russell. The question is Piastri gaining on Russell? And right now, Oscar is about 4.5 seconds behind Russell. And he's slowly getting by tenths, not the massive jump that, like Russell now is 2.5 seconds behind Max. So a massive jump for Verstappen. Yeah, Elvis is pointing out to me that basically that Max has clear track, clear air in front of him, and here we go. We've got Sainz passing Alonso. Oh, they're still fighting. No, yep. Sainz finally getting ahead of Alonso. His next target is going to be Arcon in the Alpine. Is he gaining on him? Not just yet. Russell is saying consider plan B. So no further investigation for Russell and Hamilton. No further investigation. And Sainz is now passing Arcon to go into P6. So he's now 3 seconds behind his teammate. Yeah, Papaya Armory's doing really good. I mean, they're virtually third and fourth because Russell has not pitted yet. So that's a big thing. What happened to Checo? Checo had a bad race. He had an incident with Hamilton in the first lap, had an incident with Magnussen later on, and he almost pushed a McLaren off the track. So he's a DNF. Changed two wings already. So Stroll coming into the pit. This will drop him back to 18th, most definitely. Yeah, one of the things I'm looking at right now is, again, at the front, we've got seconds separating. So Max is still pulling away from Russell. Piastri's not, he's gaining, but it's a slow gain, like maybe a tenth or 0.2 every lap on Russell. It's not a massive gain. Like, again, 2 laps ago, Russell, and here we go, we've got Alonso passing Hamilton for P8. We've got, so from Verstappen to Russell, we're over 5 seconds. From Russell to Piastri, we're just under 3 seconds right now. Norris to Piastri is just under 3 seconds. That's another advancement. So Piastri and Norris is advancing a tenth on, and Hamilton just passed Arcon for P7. So Norris is advancing a tenth on Piastri, and Piastri is advancing a tenth on Russell. but Russell's falling is the gap between Russell. So Max is the one gaining here. And we've gone. Stroll is in the garage. So Stroll is in the garage. He's going to be retired. He's out. That moves Sargent up has now advanced to third place because no one else has, because he's last. Yeah, go figure. Sargent is 17 out because 3 people retired. Go figure. Moving on. Yeah, basically they've decided to retire the car. 2 DNFs for Stroll in a row. Actually, it's a did not start last weekend. It's not a did not. It's a did not start, did not finish. Sargent is coming into the pits. Is that him? Is he retiring now? So we've got who's behind Russell. So we've got Alonso. He's passing the Alpine of Arcon. Oh. Gap disappeared on Alonso and had to recover the car slightly. Gasly passing Zhou. No, passing Lawson. Norris radio. They think so McLaren thinks Russell's going to do one stop. So he's a threat if we abuse our tires, essentially. Russell is pushing those medium tires longer than expected. Oscar is is in DRS range of Russell right now. Yeah, Stroll has retired. They brought him into the pits. Stroll was part of incidents early in the first lap, and it looks like he's taken some car damage. Coming around the curve, basically, Pascal's just outside DRS range, and then jumping back into DRS range on the straight. So he's gaining. Now he's a half second behind Russell. So we're keeping an eye on this right now, as that is probably where our next action is. Oscar's lost a little bit of time on Russell. He was half second. Now he's about 0.7, 0.8 behind. We're currently on lap 24 of 53, so we're getting close to that halfway point of this race. And it's been an ugly race. We'll admit it. Bottas is retired after too many incidents. Perez after many incidents. Stroll after just not having his race. Sargent is just in the back. He was about 48 seconds behind. He's lapped right now. I mean, Albon is like 70 seconds behind Max right now. So it's been an ugly race. A lot of wing changes. They're telling Alonso that he's pulling away on the straights. He needs to think of something. So, meanwhile, we're back at the front. Coming in the pits. This is Russell's coming into the pits. So Russell was the last leading driver who hadn't pitted. So he pushed those mediums to 25 laps. And are they going to go to hards? Yes, they are. They're going to hard tires. So they are trying a one-stop strategy with Russell. Russell's coming out of the pits, and Ocon and Hamilton are tumbling with each other. And Russell's going to come out behind Alonso. Right now, fastest lap is Norris at the moment. And Norris wants to get ahead of Piastri at this moment. He thinks the race will be harder for him if he stays behind his teammate. Sargent retired. Why? Multiple reasons, multiple incidents. He hit Bottas. He was, and then we've got Russell passing Alonso right now, and he does so very cleanly and quickly. So we got four cars retired already at the halfway point. All of them had been involved in an incident from the first lap, and some of them multiple incidents, like Bottas, Perez, Sargent, all had multiple incidents on track. So we got Norris trying to get around his teammate, and his teammate's not exactly making it easy for him. Oscar is not necessarily defending, but he is just taking the racing line and is getting speed on that. The problem is they are 12 seconds behind, 12 and a third behind Verstappen right now. Norris is asking what is Oscar doing? He's defending. Ultimately, Alonso has boxed. He's dropped down to 12th, and Lawson is in the pits. He is 13th currently, but he could drop back a little bit more. Yeah, so Lando was going to go on the inside of Oscar, and basically Oscar took a hard apex around that curve and blocked off Lando from making a move. And he is complaining about Oscar right now. We have not heard anything from the radio on Oscar's side, so I'm not sure if they're telling Oscar to let Lando go by or they're just letting them fight it out. The problem is now they've dropped back 13 seconds. Here we go. Lando is now making the move. So now the question is, are they going to be able to start gaining time on Max, who gained this whole thing right here, gave him an extra like about half second to a second bonus up the track. And Norris is already pushing on his tires to get closer. He's already about a quarter of a second faster on Max, and he's slowly gaining. We are at the halfway point of this race right now. I want to thank the 16,000 and plus are watching right now. We got over 1,000 likes. Thank you so much. Again, this is the Racing Tickets YouTube channel. This is Crash talking to you this weekend. Ultimately, Ryan is not here this weekend. I'm filling in for him. He will be here next weekend for Qatar. So no worries. He will be back. He's not gone for good. Yeah. Are they trying to put Perez back out? Why is Albon stopped? Albon's coming into pits. I don't know. We'll have to look. They're not showing anything in the pits for him at the moment. I've got a shot of Alonso right now. Did Albon retire? Take a look at his driver cam. Yeah, they're retiring Albon. So fifth car to retire from this race right now. Yeah, that's that. Not sure why. I mean, Albon did have damage. Let's be honest. He was put up on two wheels by Bottas on the first lap. So the fact he made it this halfway through the race, yeah, I mean, like it is what it is. Um, so yeah, five cars out of this race already. Um, which gods did I of the F1 gods did I piss off this weekend? I have no clue. But still no red flag. It's gonna have to take. Why would Lando ask for team orders? Because Lando was trying to get around Oscar so he could then charge Max, which hasn't happened. He's dropped back like a half a second in the last lap or so. So pit stops right now is 22 seconds under green flag. I think about 15 seconds with a yellow flag. So it's a 10-second bonus so you save if you go under a yellow flag. And that's what Oscar and Albon had done earlier. Gasly is pulling ahead of his teammate. No. Gasly's like Ocon is into the pits. Are they? What's going on? Is he getting a tire change? And it looks like he's out of the pits already. So it's just a tire change. Yeah, we had a lot of issue with teammates this weekend. That's unusual. Yeah, Yuki right now is up P9 in this race, so he's got 2 points right now in the points as it stands. Max is pushing right now. Yeah, it looks like Max is pushing right now, and Fernando is gonna pass along. Is gonna pass Yuki. He's trying to. They are going side. They are side by side. Yuki still has the advantage, and finally it curves the other way, and that gives Alonso the room to pass Tsunoda. So how many laps are left? We've got 23 laps left to go. We're on lap 30 of 53 right at the moment. Yeah, McLaren has lost almost a whole second. Lando was at point two, like 12.8, and now he's at 13.8. He's lost like a whole second behind Max now. He's going to drop to like 14 seconds. Zhou is in the pits. Is he retiring? Keep an eye on his driver cam at the moment. No, Zhou just went to hard tires. So we're on lap 31 of 53, 22. Yep, Albon is out, Sargent is out. So we've got 5 cars out so far. Albon had damage from the first lap. Sargent had damage from the first lap and other incidents. Stroll apparently had damage. I'm not sure where he took damage, but Perez had multiple incidents on the first lap with Hamilton, and then later on with I think Bottas. Bottas had multiple incidents as well. So the beginning of this race was ugly, no less. And it just happens to be I'm the one streaming on commentary when it happens. So go figure. Can Rose stay at the championship? I'm not sure. I don't think they can. I have to go look at the points. It's like they have to be like 328 points, and I'm not sure that with Verstappen just winning is gonna be enough. Yeah, Yuki is on now hard tires. Yeah, we're looking at this point probably is going to be next race where both and it'll be both a Max will can get the drivers championship in yeah, definitely with Max will be able to get the drivers championship in Qatar. Very much so that he'll be able to, he could potentially Hamilton getting a back end slide. What happened Perez, basically Perez had basically had incident after incident after incident, picked up a penalty, and so they brought him in they brought him in because of car damage. So Hamilton right now is P6. He's 4 seconds behind Sainz. Like I'm looking at the chart right now. I'm looking at the gaps, and there's no one in DR's range right now. So right now, where until someone makes a play and moves forward, uh, we're not going to see anyone change positions at this point. And Norris is still dropping. Max is still charging, and he's still dropping back. So they just told Alonso they had a rear wing failure. That's why they brought in Stroll. They just told that they've checked his wing. He's okay. So now we have an understanding of why they brought in Stroll. The rear wing had failed in a critical way. Yeah, we've got no battles going on. With race has somewhat stabilized right now. Next pit window will probably be within probably now into the next 7 laps per se. Perez is still sitting in his car. He's 14 laps behind. He's still sitting in his car. I don't know why this is so. Are they going to send him back out? So he he classifies? Very bizarre. Why is Perez 19th again? Perez was pulled out because of damage. Perez is coming out to avoid the penalty for next. Okay, so he has penalties. So he's probably going to rejoin the race, take penalties, and then they'll probably pull him back in. So he doesn't have those penalties for next week. Again, Max is now pushed to 15 seconds ahead of Norris. So we've got 16 laps on a medium for Max, and then we've got 15 for Norris, 19 for Oscar, but those are hards. Leclerc and Sainz are 15, 14. So we're about 4 or 5 laps window before if they are going to change their tires again, that's when they would go do it. Oh, okay. So because he hasn't served his time penalties, they could carry over. So they're gonna like basically, um, how do you retire a race and then run retire easily? Because you're just gonna go out and do a lap around and then come in for the penalties. Mercedes are on hard tires right now. And they are talking with again. They are talking with. They had talked with the FIA about this, so this is why we will see Perez maybe come back out. He may finish the race, 14 laps behind. Is Oscar Norris stay behind? No, he's fallen back behind Norris. Norris charged ahead. I mean, there was team orders basically to put Norris ahead of Oscar, but ultimately he's fallen back 5, almost 6 seconds. Still in green flag running. We're on lap 35 of 53. So we're under 20 laps to go. Joey's asking who currently has penalties. I believe Perez is the only one who has penalties right now. And he's going to unretire to serve those penalties so that they're off the books. And so Leclerc is coming in, and he was on medium tires. Hamilton's going to come to the pit for new tires as well. So again, Hamilton's on a different strategy from Russell. Take a look at Hamilton. Hamilton's coming out, and he's going to hard tires. And Gasly's coming into the pit. Hamilton's going to come out ahead of Alonso out of the pit. Gasly's going to drop behind his teammate at least. Gasly's going to rejoin behind Hulkenberg. So he's on his tires to land in the race. Oscar's going to pit for new tires. They could potentially be going to either a medium or a soft tire. So they're going to give up some track position for better tires. You're going to see what Oscar can do charging on those tires. Norris right now still has the fastest lap, and that I don't expect that to change per se, unless Max pits for new tires, and they are going to. Wait, they went to hard tires? Really? They brought him in for hard tires? Is that all he has left? What's happened with Leclerc? Not much, really. Yeah, they brought him in for new hard tires. That I don't why that makes no sense. With less than 20 laps to go, you're gonna pit for hards. Unless I think the hards are just gonna last longer, and Norris is gonna pit as well. I think they want the tires advantage. What they may be doing is they're predicting that they need a tire advantage over Russell. That Oscar can charge on those tires and overtake Russell and pass him. Where Norris, if he has a good stop, he'll come in just ahead of his teammate, but behind Russell, but very close to Russell. Russell's coming out again. Here comes George, and Norris again about a second and a third behind, but he's also on hard tires, but he's coming out on fresher hard tires. Site says we've been undercut, and that is confirmed. He is 29 seconds ahead of them on a medium tire. So if he wanted to pit and be ahead of Russell still, he could. Max is going to box. Max has a 30-second advantage over Sainz. So he will pit, come back out. He will still be in the lead. Right now, Hamilton has the fastest lap. And Hamilton had just pitted himself as well. We are lap 38 of 53, so we've got 15 laps to go in this race. Again, I want to thank you those who are watching. I know that this half of the race has not been exciting as the first half. Not as much action, a lot of tactics right now. A lot of big brain IQ tactics going on, and less bang jobs as the beginning of the race was. And here goes Norris passing Russell for P3. He's going to be 5 seconds behind Sainz. Max came out on hard tires, and he's got a 8 1/3 second advantage over Sainz right now. So with 15 laps to go right now, again, you're watching the Racing YouTube channel. This is the Japanese Grand Prix race live watch-along. Again, this is Grash, and again, Ryan is out this weekend. I'm filling in for him, but he'll be back next weekend. So if anyone's curious, that is what's going on, why you're not hearing the same person or seeing a face cam. No, Russell only has pitted. He pitted twice. He's gonna try and run the rest of the race on these hard tires. Essentially, is the idea. Right now, he's running fourth with Oscar about three and a half seconds behind him right now. Norris has pulled ahead a second and a half and is starting to cut the distance to Sainz. And which of the Ferraris? This is Sainz coming into the pits. So with that move over Russell, that's going to probably put Norris second in this race. The question is, will Oscar overtake Russell and get his first podium and give McLaren a 1-2 this weekend? And we've still got shots of Perez sitting in his car, and they are about to take the tire blankets off. And Max has just done the first flying first sector. So he's on a flying lap, it seems now. And they're about to take Perez out of the garage. So this is I've seen this happen in NASCAR. I've seen this happen in IndyCar, and Max is now fastest sector 2. So Max is on a flying lap right now to take fastest lap. Oh, come on. You got to hate George more than Oscar. Like, dude, Russell with the no shirt abs, you got to hate that more. Yeah, Max just takes the fastest lap, 1:34.183. He's now pushed to 15 seconds ahead of Norris. So he's clearly in charge of this race. It's his race to lose, to make a mistake. The gap between Oscar and George is 1.4 at the moment. And here comes Checo. He is 14 laps behind. Is he 14 laps? I don't know how. He's many laps behind. He's going to be P19 with other cars ahead of him still out of the race. He has 6 laps. Okay, 6 laps behind. Technically 6 laps behind, and he's on a soft tire. That's interesting. Piastri has now got into DS range of Russell. And this is where we have a battle for third right now. Right now, he's slowly gaining on Russell. He's gained another tenth and a half. So he's at 0.65. Yeah, the F1 TV display says he's plus 6 laps, but he's probably like 26 laps behind. Yeah. Is Checo going? Why would Checo be going for fastest lap? He would not. He would not. Yeah, would that make any sense? He wouldn't be able to take the point for fastest lap with him, and Max has it. So why would they take it away from Max? Russell. So Oscar is now both in 2/10, jumping between 3/10 and 2/10 behind Russell right now, and it's a moment of him waiting for Russell to make a mistake for him to get around. And as expected, Checo is going to pit. Well, Russell tires, they are hards. Both Russell and Oscar are on hards, but Russell is on much older hard tires, and Oscar much a younger tire. So the advantage on tires is to Oscar. He has dropped back to half a second. It's just a matter of him stalking Russell before he can get by him. And this is the battle for third. Like if Oscar can get past Russell, he will most likely take the third on the podium this weekend and have his first podium. So that's what is at stake in this battle at the moment. How many laps is 53? We are, and here we go. There is the move. Oscar on the outside. He's behind him. He's drafting. He's not going to make the move right now, but he's stalking him right now. He's lining up right behind him. And here we go. He's going on the outside, and he's now past Russell. It's a good clean pass, and he is ahead. He is ahead by a third of a second. Leclerc is a second and a half behind. So with Perez, they unretired the car so they could bring him out, bring him to do a pit stop. He took his penalties. They sent him back out, and they are now retiring the car for obvious reasons. And the reason they've done this is so they can clear out any penalties that Checo has, so they don't go forward to Qatar. So, yeah, that happened while I was streaming. And already Russell's dropped back a second and a quarter from Piastri. Norris is several seconds ahead of them already, and Max already much further ahead. The good question right now is Leclerc going to catch Russell? And he potentially could catch him. He's getting closer in that gap. And Leclerc is already 0.3 behind. And he's going to go on the inside, but not going to get the move done here. He's going to line up with Russell. And Jensen, welcome to the fans. Welcome to the family. Leclerc has dropped back half a second. So Russell's pulled ahead just a little bit. But we saw that happen with Oscar as well before he managed to make the move. Russell's pulled ahead to 2.7. So he's either defending or he's pulling away. Nope, here he goes. Leclerc right behind him. He's stalking him right now. He's waiting for his moment to make that pass. And this is battle for fourth at this point. 2-point difference between fourth being 12 points and fifth being 10 points. And we've got 10 laps to go in this race. Right now, the only battle on track is between Russell and Leclerc at the moment. Can you see tires? Yeah, every so often the timing sheet will show the tires and what they've used. Obviously, pretty much everyone's on hard tires at this point. Yeah, Russell's losing his pace with those tires. They're older, hard tires, and he's losing grip and pace because they're just much, much older. Russell's back within about a half a second. So gaining on him again. So he's gaining in the DRS zone. It's like Russell's gaining outside of the DRS zone for some odd reason. Could Russell go to softs? Probably not. It's they probably want track position. They're telling Oscar that if there was a safety car, you could pit for tires. You give up 3 positions. Feedback. If there was a safety car, he'd go for it. Actually, he's game. He would go for softs and go a blaze of glory on those softs. We still have Leclerc. He's 3/10 behind right now. 4/10 behind. So George again finding areas on the track where he can gain on him. Where Ferrari, particularly on that the start line straight, he's picking up time there on him. So they're battling for fourth, and George is finding ways to keep Charles behind him. We're coming to the start line, and Charles is probably too far behind to make a move on him right now. He's going to get close. He's going to go around the outside. He's getting in line. Does he make it? Does he make it? I can't see. They were showing he's got ahead of Charles. Charles got ahead of Russell. So Clerk has moved to P4 and Russell to P5. Hamilton is 2.5 seconds behind, and he has younger tires. So it could very easily that Hamilton could pass Russell at the end of this race. We've got about 9 laps to go in this race. If positions will do, will they win? That's a good question. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure on the points. I know he's got the 26 points. I wasn't sure. I thought Checo had to be in play to get the World Driver Championship. Not showing anything about the World Driver Championship on screen, though. Is there a chance of rain in Suzuka? No. There's not today. There was no chance of rain for today. People are asking what happened to Perez. Perez basically had an incident on the first lap with Hamilton, had another incident later on with Bottas, almost pushed one of the McLarens off the track. He had 2 nose changes, retired. Problem is, Red Bull had to talk. I think, yeah, they're going to be. Yeah, so then they're now showing that Red Bull, with Max by himself, they're going to win the Constructors' Championship. So thank you. So Checo, basically, they retired the car. They talked with FIA about, because he had penalties, which he had not served. And they could, in theory, be passed on to Qatar. So to ensure that that wasn't the case, they basically patched up the car and sent Checo out, and essentially sent him out for a lap, told him the box, served his penalties, went back out again, and then told him to come back in to retire the car. Oscar is not the only reason Oscar will pit is because there's a safety car that came out. That was the condition for him to come get fresh tires. Oh wow, so they're talking. They think Leclerc left the track. They think the pass on Leclerc was bad on Russell was bad, and they're going to investigate whether he left the track to gain an advantage on Russell, and that would be huge because Russell's dropped back almost 3 seconds, and it may be even bigger because Hamilton's about 0.6 behind Russell right now. So here's what's getting interesting. Science is right behind Hamilton. So it's not a moment where they can just do a swap in positions right now, because if they have to get back, if Hamilton gets ahead of Russell, so no further investigation. So they're not. So Leclerc is not going to have to get back his position. So that's out of the question. So now with that in play, we've now got Russell, Hamilton, Sainz in a battle for fifth. It's a question if and there's one of the scenarios could be is if Hamilton and Russell squabble, could Sainz get ahead of both of them? And that would be a big boon. That would push Sainz from 7th to 5th, ahead of both of the Mercedes. Again, right now our top three is Verstappen, Norris, Oscar. They're an interval of 17 and 15 seconds respectively behind. And Hamilton's concerned they're going to lose both of those positions to Sainz if they're not paying attention. Right now, Hamilton is 0.6 behind Russell, and Sainz is 0.4 behind Hamilton. And Sainz is getting closer to Hamilton. We've got 5 laps to go. We're on lap 49.53, so 5 laps to go. Battle right now specifically is Sainz and Hamilton. Russell is getting a little bit of distance, and Hamilton has gone a little bit wide. The Mercedes are in panic mode right now. Leclerc has lost some pace. He was 5 seconds, now is 5 and an eighth back on Piastri now. So he's losing pace from him. Again, right now the track action right now is between Russell, Hamilton, Sainz. Lawson might pass Tsunoda. He is in DRS range. I'll have to keep a pin on that for later. All right, here we go. Hamilton's going to pass Russell. He does so cleanly. So now Russell is behind Sainz and is there to back him up so Hamilton can get ahead of them. So now the question is, how long can Russell basically be a moving chicane behind Sainz to keep him there? Hamilton has now jumped second and an eighth ahead of Russell, so there's a good jump ahead. The gap to Sainz is now, they're showing actually the gap to Sainz, which is really cool. He's got a 0.7 gap, 1.7 gap, I should say, 1.8. So that gap on Sainz that Hamilton has is growing. So Russell is doing his job. So the question is how, there we go. Sainz is pulled up on the side of him, on the outside. He's coming on the inside now. Russell's defend well. Still a good defense. And Russell's going to get 0.3 ahead of Sainz. So a good defense for Russell. And here comes Sainz. He's going to try on the inside again. Not going to make it. He's going to do the switcheroo. Not going to get it as well. Russell's just being a big wall right now. And he's holding that wall pretty well. Sainz is going to go on the inside. Pit lane side on him. And he's getting past Russell. And he's past him now. So Sainz has passed Russell. And he's got there's a second gap between Sainz to Hamilton now. And that's not insurmountable for him to pick up. He's already can pick up that pretty quickly. Yeah, driver of the day voting is going to end in about 2 laps. A lot of you are saying Piastri for driver of the day. Definitely with his run, getting his first podium, definitely worth him getting the driver of the day. There we go. And that's who my driver of the day is going to be. 4 laps. 4 laps, basically. Russell's tires are done for. Yeah, pretty much. But the next person behind Russell at this point is Alonso. So, at this point, yeah, it's going to take a huge, something big would have to be brew for Russell to drop back behind Alonso for 8th. So 7th is where Russell is most likely going to finish. Question is Sainz going to get ahead of Hamilton? Right now, Sainz is back a 2nd and a 3rd. Engineers telling Sainz great old school pass, and Sainz is charged to go get Hamilton. And this is interesting. This is where the race is right now. Is right now in 4th and 5th. I had mentioned that Lawson did get ahead of Tsunoda, so he's now 11th. So Sainz is now under a 2nd. He's just under a 2nd. Is he going to hold that? He's at 0.9. He's now 0.112. He's good 0.8. So he's clearly in DRS zone now onto Hamilton. He's the only driver who has that besides Tsunoda because Lawson passed him. Though Tsunoda is falling back. Unfortunately, Lawson's not going to get to 10th. He's 20 seconds behind Ocon at that point. So again, the only battle we're going to see at the end of this race is going to be Hamilton and Sainz. And it'd be nice if I could see the gap and not see a battle for 5th between those two. Russell has jumped, at this point, Russell has jumped back 4 seconds off of Sainz. So he's, again, clearly in 7th. On lap 52 of 53. And right now, the only battle that's left on this track right now is between Hamilton and Sainz. Sainz looks like he's about a 2nd still behind Hamilton. And it looks like Sainz is preparing to get up to Hamilton and to pass him on the last lap. Again, right now the gap is 0.9. And we are on the final lap right now. So it's now or never. We got a shot of Max passing, who is passing Hulkenberg? No, Lawson. probably who he just passed. So Max is in traffic right now. So we've got, and he's past them, and he's in clear air. Sainz is over a second now on Hamilton. Now back under a second. So he's jumping between, above a second to 0.8, but not fully advancing on him. Again, he's now slowed back to a 0.9 Sainz. So that's an issue. He may not, if this is continuing, he may not catch him. And here we go. Max is about to take the checkered flag. And this will be his 47th race career win. So back to winning ways with Red Bull. And then, as it stands right now, with Max winning the race, Red Bull is going to win the Drivers' Championship, the Constructors' Championship here in Japan. And doing so in honor, and doing so puts, and so Lawson's going on line, Tsunoda, Zhou, so the back markers are hitting the line before other people ahead of them. So these are lap cars now finishing the race. We've got about 19 seconds. Lando finishes P2. And here we come. Another 17 seconds out, and Piastri is going to take third. He's going to get his first podium in F1. For a rookie, this is an incredible performance for him this year. He is definitely the talent of, he's a talent that's going to be around for a while now. And it's official. Max has taken P1, has won the race with fastest lap. Norris has gone P2. Piastri's gone P3. And that is the race, everyone. It's confirmed. Red Bull Racing is the Constructors' Champion for 2023. Congratulations to Red Bull. They've earned it. Congratulations to Max winning the race. I guess congratulations to Checo for unretiring and retiring the car, which I have not seen in F1. Go figure. Kevin, Grand Slam for Verstappen. It may technically no, because he pitted and there were other cars ahead of him, but he was virtually ahead of everyone because of the pit sequence. But he did take fastest lap, did take pole, did win the race. Big congrats to the Pia team in chat. Yeah, you guys are happy for McLaren taking 2-3. That's a big accomplishment. Clerk held for 4th. Hamilton did held for 5. So Sainz did not get a chance to pass Hamilton. And when I saw it, he was not advancing on him. That was very much in the cards. Alonso came in P8, Ocon, Gasly, P9, P10 to a points for the Alpine. Lawson sitting on the outside at P11. That is usually where Tsunoda is, but Tsunoda is P12. So Lawson outperformed Tsunoda one more time. Zhou is P13, Hulkenberg is P15, Magazine P15. Those are the cars that finished the race. Then the 5 that did not finish were Albon, Sargent, Stroll, Perez, and Bottas. I want to thank everyone who came and watched at some point. We had almost like 20,000 of you watching at one point. We had 1.7 thousand likes on this stream. That's huge. Thank you so much. Oscar is our driver of the day, and he well deserved so as his first podium. Once again, this is the Racing Tickets YouTube channel. Again, this was the Japanese Grand Prix, and I'm Crash. Been here with you all weekend long. Did the whole weekend, all of the practices, quality, and the race itself. Where's our usual commentator? This one's right. Sorry, man, I'm not your usual guy. I have my own style. Don't care if you like me or not. Yeah, I am who I am. But ultimately, Ryan will be back next weekend. All right. This is just a 1 week off. And normally I'm doing practice. So, if you're here regularly for practice, you know who I am. If you're not here for practice, hi, I'm Grash. I usually do practice. We do practice on this channel. Did you know that? You do now. So, if you've not liked and subscribed to, hit that bell, you won't know when we're going live. The other way that you know that we go live is join our Discord channel. We have an event every weekend. When we go live, an event will be there as well. And if for some reason you can't find the event on YouTube, look in Discord. They'll be fine. You'll find an event there as well. You'll get the link there as well. Yeah, McLaren got 2 trophies this time around. Yeah, Red Bull's getting 2 trophies, and McLaren's getting two trophies. Plus, the constructors champion. They've got flags already up for that win already. So, I am going to leave you guys right here. If you guys are still watching, the Max Verstappen podcast show is about on F1 TV. So enjoy that, as that is now returned from a week off. Thanks for everyone come. Thanks who had fun doing this all weekend. I will see you in 2 weeks for Qatar for the first practice. All right, everyone. See you, race fans. We'll be back here for Qatar, and have a good weekend. Take care.